So, what were the long-term challenges and opportunities that you saw, Paul, at the start as chair? Because you're absolutely right, you had to have a vision that was going into the future, hoping to sort of future-proof this new entity.
That vision was presented to us really. I think our challenge at Shield was going to be to be able to implement that there are people had given many years, and the congregations were taking this big risk of bringing this Shield board in particular the Shield board side now of this. Rather, the Lecala, as I said, was keeping the enterprise going, but here the decisions the Shield board was going to make were going to be significant over the years. And we really had to gain, as I said earlier, the trust of the congregations to say, you haven't made a mistake here. So we took our time with things. We began to look, and there were three elements that we have to deal with. One is the charter, to ensure that the charter has been implemented. But really, that's like the Irish Constitution. You go to it every now and again. The Lecala board, if you like, are who are implementing the charter and doing it magnificently. The second element would be the finances, and we started there, and we had to look at how are we going to ensure the congregations had made a very generous seed capital, where the word Shield comes from, in terms of having maybe, as they saw it in their head, 20 years or so of finance if you organise a relatively small office and you don't do anything else. Maybe 20 years is what they had in their minds. So we, as we began to work, we were ensuring that A, we weren't using up that seed capital too quickly, but B, we were beginning even then, right from the very start, to say, well, what do we do after 20 years? Because, I mean, this is about the long, long term. We haven't got the answers to all of that yet, but I think it's significant that we had our 10th anniversary last year, and we were at that, having done 10 years, telling the congregations we have something like 25 years ahead of us still at this stage. So that means that we're doing something right. Now, part of that, and I'll maybe come back to it later, was by expanding the schools and the congregations in the trust. But nevertheless, the finance was the second element. And the third element, just to mention it now, we can come back to it, was the property issue, which was going to be a big question. One of the key things that was decided early on was, while the schools were being licensed to the Lecala Trust, there might be some congregations might be thinking, we will give our property sooner rather than later, because that was ultimately the objective. But there were other congregations who, for various reasons, might say, no, we're not intending to give. So again, one of the things with Lecala is you always have to design something that fits more than one model. It isn't that everybody had to come in and say, by this date, this has to happen. So as it is at the moment, we have a number of congregations have moved our schools. Others are in the process, and there are others who it's going to be a very long time down the road before property comes in our direction.